Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Indy and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Indy's ability to understand and respond to his formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Indy's going to come home with his very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, Indy's sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that they're going to demonstrate for us is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Indy heel. Now at this point, Indy has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when you're walking with him. Not forging ahead, not lagging behind, not looking around at squirrels or people or distraction, but staying right with you at all times, being mindful of where you are and what you want from him. If you turn, he should turn. If you speed up or slow down, he should do the same. And when you stop walking, he's been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for his next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit-stay.
Stay.
The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Now you're going to want to lengthen out the amount of time that he's able to hold a sit-stay, and you can practice right in your home. Start out at about 40 seconds and work up to 3 minutes. When Rich returns back to him, he walks all the way around him. That is an additional distraction, and Rich is back at heel position where they started, at which time Indy expects to get another command, and they take off heeling again. And heeling is one of the commands that we hear the most of a need from our clients, is the dog drags me down the street when walking. So this is a command that eliminates that altogether, and when you stop to cross traffic or stop on the street to talk to someone, he is sitting nicely, looking up at you and waiting for his next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate again is your sit-stay. You can practice this right in your house. Put your video on, practice your commands. The more you practice, the better he's going to be. And this time, instead of returning to him, Rich is going to call him. It's Indy come, and Indy actually returned to heel on his own. So ultimately, that's where he needs to end up, and he knows. He's very smart. He's a sweet dog.
Stay.
Rich leaves him in another sit-stay. He walks out to the end of his leash and he turns to face him. He's going to use his name for this command. You don't want to get him too amped up or he's going to bowl you over, but he does have a habit of, rather than sitting in front of you, he goes back to heel, which ultimately is what we would have him do. So it's not wrong. He's just actually cutting out one part of the exercise and returning back to heel position, because he's learned that everything starts and stops at that heel position. Now, if he doesn't sit, so Rich give that little tug on the collar, and that's all it is. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate is the down from a heel position. So with the dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm and push it straight down toward the ground and give the one-word command to down and stay. He loves to stretch on his down stays. Now your long down stay again is an exercise that you can practice in your house, and you're going to work all the way up to 5 minutes. When Rich returns back to him again, he walks all the way around him, and Indy should remain lying down until he gets his next command. And you see him look at Rich like, okay, what are we going to do now? And Rich gave him that heel command. Nice automatic sit. Rich is going to put him into a down and a stay. Now he got up from that, so Rich is going to put him back into a down and a stay. Rich and he have a relationship where he rolls on his back and gets a belly rub, so I think that's what he was trying to do. But that's not correct, so you have to gently tell him no and put him back into that down. He has to complete the exercise the way it was taught. And this time, instead of returning back to him, Rich will call him out of that. And when he gets silly or he doesn't want to do it for you, you're going to have to be a little tougher with him. Let him know that you mean business and that he's going to do these commands for you. Because he doesn't know us as anything but teachers. So we tend to get the best out of the dogs. And then they see mom and dad and it's on. It's like, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. So we want you to be able to have him perform all of these exercises for you as well. Rich is going to leave him in a sit-stay this time.
Stay.
He's going to walk out to the end of the leash and he's going to turn to face him. This is the only time that he's going to use his right hand to give the command, and he drops him into a down from a distance. And he's I think that Indy's a comedian here. He tries to get a rise out of you. Now, we have demonstrated for you all of the formal on-leash obedience commands. He's done a great job of learning his commands. We're going to be answering any questions that you have when you pick him up and really explaining to you how you can use these commands in your everyday living situation. He's been a pleasure to have. We've enjoyed every minute of it, and we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.